She slammed it. Oh, not as big as I thought. Hit it like she was a big girl. Still nice. Yeah, probably about 18. Man, they love my monster drinks. Every time I come out here with the monster drink, they slap it with their tail and get slime all over it. Come on now. I will get you back in the water in just a second. She was not going to come off. Nice trout. About 18 inches or so. Mr. Joel got him a nice trout. Whew! See a big girl. How big is she? Shy 26? Yeah. Good try. So this is a first for me. Hardhead on a corky. Never in my life have I caught a hard. So today we're out here in Matagorda. It's about 75 degrees. Water temp is 76, which is crazy for this time of year. Throwing topwaters early. Got on a few fish right away. Joel caught a 26-inch trout and 25-inch red, I think. I picked up a couple trout, but I've been fooling around with a new rod and reel that won at the fishing show, and I've had nothing but trouble with it. So I unfortunately have been doing nothing but taking out backlashes more than I have been fishing. But we're a couple days off the full moon. Got 4 tides today. As y'all can see, the water is dang near like glass. A little bit of breeze, it kind of took the mosquitoes away. But anyhow, stay tuned. So I wanted to let y'all know, I don't know, those of y'all watching, if you pay attention to the weather, the moon, tides, hopefully you do. A lot of fishing activity is based on a lot of that stuff. But I use a couple different apps or websites, if you will. Windfinder is a good one. It's usually fairly accurate. And then the other one I use a lot is fishfinder.com, I think it is. Then you can type in you know, areas you like to fish or whatever, and there's a couple different spots, especially where I fish at, and it kind of gives you a wind forecast, stuff like that, and it's usually pretty accurate, but it's just like anything else with weather. It's, you know, sometimes it's dead on and sometimes it's off, but I mean, it gives you a relative idea of what the conditions are going to be like. Then I also monitor days before I fish and then the morning of, the NOAA website, Tides and Currents. There's a couple different stations they have. It shows you current water levels, it shows you like projected water levels, and they're fairly accurate. So like this week, the tide's been running about a half foot above normal, which is a change from what we did have. We were having extremely low tides, and now we've got water in a lot of places that have been pretty shallow. But today we're just kind of drifting over some shell mud and a little bit of hard sand bottom further up towards the coast. We got on the fish pretty quick this morning right away, and then the bite turned off. But I'm guessing coming off this full moon that was a couple days ago, we might see the bite during the midday hours. So the spot that we're fishing today is definitely no secret to anyone who fishes, whether it be kayak or boat. Everybody fishes here. It's, you know, scattered shell, mud, some hard bottom in places. But one of the things I found here that I have yet to see anyone else do what I do is I found an area where the bottom is drastically different than most of the area itself. And the area that I'm talking about is probably the size of I'd guess maybe a school bus. It's not very big. I stumbled across it on my depth finder when it was a foggy morning, and I noticed it, so I started fishing it, and boom, started catching fish. Ever since then, I've been working the spot, and there'll be days where I'm catching fish and people 50 yards from me aren't catching anything. So I don't know if it's luck, coincidence, or if that spot really does make a difference. But what I found is, on a good tide movement, as long as you have water movement, it seems like those fish are attracted to that spot because it gives them a little bit of cover to ambush bait. It's not just a flat bottom, so it's not really structure. It's just a subtle change in the lay of the land, so to speak, and it seems to make a difference. I've fished it, you know, pretty much any time of the year, and it seems like it holds the fish. But if there's no tide movement, I don't do good, which is typically, if you don't have any tide movement, fishing is tough anyway. But on a good tide movement, whether it be ingoing or outgoing, the fish seem to love that spot. And my guess is, looking at my depth finder and looking at the bottom, they're getting in these spots where they can ambush bait, and so I don't have to travel very far. I don't have to work so hard. And I've found other spots like that too. So depth finder definitely helps when you're trying to learn a spot. But sometimes you just stumble on stuff, and that's what happened to me, and it has paid off really well. But like I said, this is no secret spot. It's probably overfished because a lot of people heard about it, watched videos about it, you name it. But what I have found is it's one of those spots that you have to really kind of figure out what the fish are doing and what they're wanting. You can't just throw a line out and expect to catch fish all day, every day. But anyway, so yeah, when you're out, whether it be in your kayak or your boat, keep a watch out for changes, you know, in the area you're fishing. You know, bottom changes, shale to mud, you know, mud to hard sand. Any of that kind of stuff can make a difference. Maybe not at that point in time, but maybe different time of year, what have you. But also a good time to find out more about certain spots is on a really low tide during the winter. You know, it'll expose quite a bit of stuff that's usually hidden. And sometimes those days, while they're not productive for fishing per se, they are productive for researching and exploring and figuring out what's out there. So always something to think about. But we are just grinding away. Bite is slow right now. I'm hoping that because of the full moon a couple of days ago, they're on a midday bite. So it's typically what happens, 11 to 2, so to speak. That's when you see a lot of activity. Don't ask me the science behind it, but that's what happens. Little trout. Come on now. The quicker you get in here, the quicker you get back in the water. Boy, he inhaled it too. Or should I say she? Knock and tail, bone, diamond flakes, and then I dip it with the chartreuse tail. One of my favorite lures. Hard to beat those knock and tails. I have a lot of luck with them. They've got little rattles in the tail. It's kind of an added attractant. Works well for me though. Some people are Kelly Wiggler people, some people are down south. I like a little bit of everything, but I've got my favorites in certain styles, certain colors. And I'm just having nothing but heck today with my reels. Starting to think it's just me. But been at it for a couple hours now, and we caught, I don't know, caught a couple dozen fish, I guess, so far between me and Joel. Hooked up on something here. Feels pretty decent. I don't know if it's a red or a decent trout. Can't tell yet. Feels like a redfish. Nope. You're not gonna believe this. That is a big old croaker. Wow. That is the first. That is, well, I've caught them before on lures, but not here. Not here before. Old croaker.